Hi, I'm Lita Leapin.
And I'm Jim Gordon.
And welcome to a very special out-of-town version of our city tonight.
That's right. We're in our province's capital of Victoria. More accurately, we're at the Coast Victoria Hotel and Marina by APA. Lita, we have worked with the Coast partners many times before, but why are we at this specific location?
Well, we're here because we want to be here, but we are also here to help them celebrate their renovation, reopening, as well as their rebranding and their new motto, refreshingly local.
You're going to see all that and a great party after you watch this. Well, now we're up on the 10th floor in the Harbor Suite. I am joined by Stephen Ruffley, who is the general manager here at the Coast Victoria Hotel and Marina by APA. Renovations are the key thing we're going to talk about right away. You're the guy that's driving this ship. Let's talk about, first of all, this suite, which is one of your premier suites with a great view of the harbor.
Certainly. Modern, reimagined, fresh, contemporary. Incredible views. The Harbor Suite, from a design standpoint and from an experience standpoint, our guest is truly going to love it.
Yeah. We should talk too. Lita and I started talking with you guys about doing more segments with you because we've been in a couple of your properties. How long did the renovation take?
This renovation took about 6 months.
Yeah.
During that renovation, we learned a great deal, not just from, the initiatives that we put in place, but as we went along with the renovation, the experiences set in. What works, contemporary, adaptable rooms, and it truly does. And the design and the hotel team have done an incredible job.
You see this often. You've been around the hotel game a long time. Why was the decision made now to renovate? Because we've certainly been in hotels, many of us, even our viewers probably, where you go, nice place, but it's maybe a little tired. At what point does the management say, got to do this? Yeah,
and it is. It's about refresh. Yeah. It's reimagining, reimaging. It's time for, it's for the first part of a really good opportunity moving forward. The guest rooms have always been well adapted, but as you get into that more modern look, and lifestyles change for customers.
Yeah.
The preference, what customers and the demographics of those customers, what they're looking for is simplicity, but adaptability.
Oh, very cool. Now, you mentioned refresh, and let's get into some more specifics. We talked about the room we're in right now, but also talk about some other key elements, some key changes that have taken place.
I call it FF&E.
FF&E?
Yeah, furniture, fixtures, and equipment.
Okay. We're feeling very hip here, actually. I like that.
One of the things I want to say, first of all, is that, for any customer, wherever you are, especially here with the Coast Victoria and Marina by APA, is our bathrooms.
Yeah, wow.
One of the things about that, and by the way, sense of arrival. So, the sense of arrival within these rooms, your flooring, the first thing that you look at, the views, the window treatments, the fixtures, the tables. I mean, everything in this room and every other room has been completely done. Everything from high definition televisions to the flooring to some nice accent carpet, the bathrooms being oversized and completely renovated. And you know what? Lighting. I mean, lighting and texture brings an enhancement of, wow, this is a great room. It's your home away from home. And when you're in that experience, you want to be able to do that whether you're on business or pleasure.
Okay, Stephen, we got to talk about cocktails. Of course, you guys got a great patio, which is now open.
That's correct.
And these cocktails would be perfect on that patio. But let's talk about, again, refreshing in terms of, pardon the pun, your cocktail program.
Well, here's the thing. It's refreshingly local.
Yeah.
You know, the thing about an experience in a guest room is no different when you're in a restaurant or a bar or a lounge. Our patio is going to be tremendously well adapted, and there's great drinks that come with that patio and our restaurant. You know, Blue Prawn Caesar. We've got the Fog over James Bay, very local. And then the Lavender Sky. And then we finish off with an Orchard Shower. What I like about these drinks is not only are they refreshingly local, but we're using those ingredients, as I say that term, local. And there's an art and a craft to cocktails. That craft is in the experience of that great ambassador that's serving you and making that drink, and then telling the story behind it. And when somebody comes to a restaurant or the patio or the lounge, what we want is not just the great flavors of the cocktail, but we want them to have a memorable experience, just like they do in their room.
That's a good way to put it up, and also that you know, you've been around the game a long time. You know, making contacts, being local was not something you were really focusing on, say, 30 years ago. But now you need to have it because that's what the customer wants.
Oh, absolutely. And one of the things that is so important, everything from local wineries to local organic products. And I know you're going to talk a little bit about food at some point, but you know, what we have on this island and what we have to provide to our guests is incredible.
Stephen mentioned food. That's where Lita is, a few floors below us downstairs. Lita will head over to you and check out some great food in the restaurant.
I'm here at lobby level, which means I'm in the Blue Crab Seafood House, which I was just informed that this restaurant has been here for 34 years. That's phenomenal. I'm here with executive chef Dan. And Dan, you're fairly new with the restaurant. You came from a great industry, so you're diving right into these seasonal fresh sheets that the Blue Crab has now introduced. Tell us a little bit about what you've prepared for us.
Yeah, so the Coast Hotel, we have a agenda to do refreshingly local ingredients, and that's exactly what this fresh sheet's all about. So our first dish here, this is our Two Rivers lamb merguez sausage with Pacific poached prawns, fried polenta, sofrito coulis, and a watercress salad.
Awesome. Sofrito, what is that?
Sofrito is like mirepoix, but in Spain. So it's traditionally tomatoes, peppers, garlic. Sometimes I like to put fennel in mine.
Nice.
But it's like the base for a lot of their foods, especially paella. You'd start with a sofrito, and then that's the base of it.
I love that you've got so much freedom. Okay, so why don't we move into the front there?
The front, I love this dish. It's very near and dear to me. It is a Pacific olive oil poached halibut cheeks.
Oh,
and
delicious.
It's kind of like, I really love salads, but salad and seafood is a little bit cliche. And so this is like an underwater salad because it's a romaine broth, and then it's asparagus, butter poached radishes, pickled fennel, and just a nice little like fennel and celery salad on top.
Romaine broth. Okay, again, so creative. Let's come over this side.
This is Parisian gnocchi, which many will disagree is a good gnocchi, but I love it, and I think it's a great summer dish. And it's with our West Coast diver scallops and this is Sloping Hills pork belly. We go from multiple different pork farms, but right now that's what we had available.
Wonderful.
And enoki mushrooms, Parmesan cheese, and pork rinds.
Oh, delicious. And the big dish in front of us. We can end with that.
And this is pretty much everything great that comes out of the ocean. So it's our house molasses cured and smoked tuna, and our house cured salmon, our tuna poke, house-made chips, and more of our poached prawns.
Phenomenal. Beautiful presentation, beautiful creativity as well. Executive Chef Dan, I think they're lucky to have you here. It's a great hotel overall, and you have won awards. In fact, the Diner's Choice winner in the category for Best Scenic View and Romantic Restaurant in Victoria. So congratulations on that as well. And later on in the show, we're going to take a look at a really fun party that's happening here at the Coast Victoria Hotel and Marina by Appa.
This segment is sponsored by the Richmond Sentinel, providing news, entertainment, and human interest stories in print and online.
Before we get to our next guest, a little background. Let's go back to 1957. Stay with me. An epic historical movie is about to be made. They were all the rave back then. Think Ten Commandments, Ben-Hur. This movie would be called The Conqueror, and it would be the story of Genghis Khan. It would have an all-star cast, would be shot on location in the deserts of southwest Utah. Now, to play Genghis Khan, John Wayne. Yeah, one of the biggest movie stars on the planet at that time, but this would be one of the most bizarre and odd miscastings in film history. When the movie finally came out, and I've never seen it because no one really has seen it since it was taken out of distribution. I've seen clips, but it is laughably bad what I've seen, and critics agreed about the film. What wasn't laughable is what happened over the next 4 decades. And that's where our next guest comes in. His new movie is called The Conqueror, Hollywood Fallout. Joining us now is the writer and director of The Conqueror, Hollywood Fallout, William Nunez, who joins us from New Jersey. William, welcome to the show.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, sir. I said you off camera, this is such a fantastic, tragic story. Our viewers many may not know this story, which, as I said in the intro, starts with John Wayne and the group doing The Conqueror in, I guess, the southwest part of Utah, where something is happening 75 miles to the west. You pick it up from there.
Well, they decided to do the film The Conqueror in the St. George area, which is about 140 miles east of Las Vegas. And they decided to shoot there because the red clay looked like the Gobi Desert, though I doubt any of them would have known at the time what the Gobi Desert looked like. However, little did they know that they were also shooting 135 miles to the west of the Nevada test site, where the year before, really 9 months before, 11 tests were conducted that was at least 20 times more powerful than the bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and that the winds of most of those tests blew in the direction of where they were shooting. And then they had the misfortune of shooting the movie in the summer, where desert storms are at their highest peak, and that, coupled with hundreds of horses used as extras kicking up that dust, for about 2 to 3 months they were breathing that dust constantly, and it had ill effects on their health, unfortunately.
Yeah, some of the stats, I knew of this story for over 30 years, but the stats that you talk about in this film, I mean, the main people you see, the director, former actor, movie star, producer now, director at the time of the film, Dick Powell, Susan Hayward, Oscar winner, Agnes Moorehead, Pedro Armendariz Sr., John Wayne, they all get cancer and all die. And you look at these numbers you list, out of the 222 crew members, 91 develop cancer, 46 die from it, and we haven't even mentioned the nearby town of St. George.
Yes, and that was a higher than normal cancer rate for anyone working on a said production. And also with St. George, which back then was a very agrarian area. It was mainly farmers, and it was, as a tourist destination, a stopover, as it were. If you're going from, say, Salt Lake, or all the way from Winnipeg, that highway goes down all the way down to San Diego. So it's a large highway, and it was mainly known as a stopover town, to rest up or to visit Mount Zion National Park. However, having said that, in the late 50s and 60s, children were getting leukemia at 2.5 higher rates than the general population of North America, and women were getting thyroid cancer at an alarming rate, and men were getting prostate cancers, say, in their 30s, which is a disease that usually starts in your 50s, or normally associated with your 50s. So those clusters led me to believe that even though most of the people that worked on the Conqueror were smokers, those coincidences, it probably did not help that they filmed there during the height of atomic testing.
And William, one of the things that your movie talks about that I didn't know, and I'm not one who's going to defend Howard Hughes, who was the producer and owner of RK Studios at the time, but he says bring 20 truckloads of that clay, that sand, back to Hollywood so we can lay it on the studio floor so we have a continuity. And you've got your people in the movie, I don't mean to laugh, it's not funny, but they have months and months more exposure to that in the studio. And then what happens to that that sand after they're done?
No one knows. I personally believe it stayed there through many other productions. I couldn't find, I did extensive research, but we couldn't find that magic bullet, which is, a PO order of saying, ship this tons of sand after the production to wherever. So there's always been speculation that it didn't move far. It stayed in the Los Angeles area. But what's interesting is that radioactivity in soil has a half-life of 14,000 years. So it's still about. So it was a great story that the Waynes went back there with a Geiger counter in the 90s, and it was still going off. Even though it was at low levels, it was still going off.
William, this is a superb film. I thank you for being the writer and director of this. This story is long overdue. This is, to me, part of what makes documentaries so great, because they expose this and they remind people, and just because you may not know who the participants were doesn't make the story any less more important, and this is a biggie. The movie, you can check it out, is The Conqueror, Hollywood Fallout. It is available now for viewing at home, and I want to thank Richard and Lauren from Blue Fox Entertainment, who not only got me a copy of this film to view, but got me to you, William. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
This segment was sponsored by the Richmond Sentinel, providing news, entertainment, and human interest stories in print and online.
Back here at Hydra in the Cabana Lounge, reminder that we do have a number of print versions of our television show, including a column in Iconic Concierge magazine.
Yeah, don't forget to check it out. You can check it out online, or they also have hard copies.
Yeah, the latest edition is available now. Well, it has been a great party here at the hotel. Lita and I have to get back to doing some work now. The room is clearing out a little bit. We've had a great time. The MC tonight, but more importantly, I think, a professor of tourism at Vancouver Island University, Jen Houtby Ferguson, joins us. Excited to talk to you because we do a lot of tourism, we're media. Give our viewers a little idea of what you do at this the school with the kids.
Well, they're not kids.
I'm old, so I say kids.
Yes,
So, yeah.
agreed. Well, really, this is about trying to give them a love of tourism. And many of them come to us and they're not quite sure where they might like to take their career. And so part of that is really exposing them to as many opportunities as possible. So that might look like taking them whale watching. It might look like taking them to say such an island. It might look like, as I did with my risk management students last year, bringing them down to Victoria and going to Save On Foods Arena and going to the place where the Harbor Cats play, Wilson Group Stadium, and giving them the opportunity to meet and interact with industry. That's a really important aspect of bringing our coursework to life.
Do you find too, I was lucky that my parents took me out when I was a kid. Tourism is the greatest educator, I think.
It truly is.
Do you find that more and more, I won't call them kids anymore, but the younger generation is getting a chance to see things that in my generation it wasn't possible, because I think that's such a great education for them.
It really is. And we're lucky at Vancouver Island University. We have so many students that have a tremendous and very diverse background. So they come to us from all over the world with really different cultural experiences, with different travel experiences, and then those all come together in the classroom, and that creates that really meaningful dialogue.
Jen, where can people find out more about you and what you do at the university?
You can reach out, go to Vancouver Island University webpage, and I'm in the Recreation and Tourism Department. You can also find me on LinkedIn or on X.
Well, I am here with one of the ambassadors for Coast Victoria Hotel and Marina by APA. Excited to be with a gold medal Olympist for rowing. Now, how the heck, Adam Creek, what a great name for a rower, how did you become an ambassador for Coast Hotel?
Well, I was up the creek and I found my paddle.
We knew that was
We
coming.
knew that, yeah. Well, Coast Hotels, I worked with them last year at a conference. I'm a professional conference speaker, and I do business coaching. And they invited me to come help them out on the launch of a number of their properties. I fell in love with the brand because it was so local, it is unique, the people are so warm, so friendly, and it felt like a home away from home.
Now, you have written an incredible book as well. I have to mention that, of course, because it's on the table here. 2019, you finished this book.
2019, it's a bestseller. It's been on a number of bestseller lists. And for a guy who used to be an athlete and tried to be a writer, it's something, it's great to be proud of. I didn't imagine the book would sell so many copies. Wonderful. It's a personal development, it's a leadership book, it's about growth, it's about getting after it. And it's something I'm proud to put out there. So.
Just incredible. Can you give us some pointers? How about your favorite pointer here?
What is my favorite pointer?
Something that everybody, all our viewers can take now and put into their daily life.
Well, I talk a lot about failure, about goals, about mentoring, but let's talk about goals. And when we set goals, it's important to set goals that are not toxic, non-toxic goals.
Yeah.
Toxic goals are goals usually in relationship to wealth, to status, to sex, to beauty, and these are extrinsic goals that when we get them aren't necessarily fulfilling.
No, that's true.
They're emptying. It's important to set goals that are fantastic, that are fulfilling. Goals in relationship to community, goals in relationship to building mastery, autonomy, purpose.
I'm looking forward to reading the book. And check this out, guys. Wow. Okay. The well-traveled gold medal for rowing. We've got Adam Creek with us. Thank you for spending some time with us. It's wonderful, your partnership with Coast Hotels.
Nat King Cole used to sing, "The party is over." Well, it really is over. We are the last ones here, I think. But we wanted to get Stephen back one more time, and another guy here, part of the Coast family, Mark Hope, who I've actually known for about 25 years, but I'm seeing him for the first time in about 10. Stephen, we caught your comments in front of a busy, excited, cheering crowd tonight. Talk about to our viewers what you had to say.
What a transformation. I've been here for 3 months, and as I said yesterday and earlier today with everybody is that, we've got a gem of a property here. Thanks to the external stakeholders that made this happen, and to our internal stakeholders, our guests, and most importantly, our ambassadors. Now our ability is to be able to make memorable experiences for everyone.
You've been here a few months, and I know you're a big fan of the man beside you. Mark, 31 years. You have a great, you told me off camera that you have a great love and a special feeling about this property because of the commitment that has been through for the last, as long as you've been here.
Yeah, I've been with Coast Hotels slightly less than this hotel's been open. It's been open 32 years. I've been with Coast 31. I've seen the good times here. I've seen the bad times. I've done 2 6-month stints here as interim GM. I know a lot of people that are still working here. And I'll tell you, very happy to see the financial commitment our ownership has given in respect to the fiscal dollars they've put forward to the renovation of this hotel. Now we turn it back over to Stephen to move it up to the next level.
Great to finish up with you guys. The party literally is over, and we respect the people that have to tear this stuff down and get ready for the next event. So we're going to wrap things up. Stephen and Mark, and they wrap things up here at this wonderful party, a wonderful night.
Sponsorship and other promotional considerations provided by Bosa Foods, authentic Italian, with 2 locations to serve you better. More information, go to bosafoods.com.
Well, we're jumping all over the place with Dave McCann every year and talking about various things that he does, all part of the Random Act of Kindness. One of the things we wanted to point out, kind of in a flashback here, we're here in mid and late July with Dave, right next to Creek House. And we talked about this in one of your episodes in July, Dave, where we were putting out more of these wonderful art prints that people can come in, get for free with a donation. Tell our viewers again why events like this that you do endlessly are so important?
We know that kids that go to school hungry can't learn. All the research, there's not been a single research report that hasn't confirmed that. So if you give a kid a good meal, he learns, he gets a better job when they get out. She or he is going to pay a lot more taxes. I don't understand why we don't have a national program. The government would reap benefits incredibly. Besides, I've seen a smile on kids' face when they're hungry and they eat a meal. That's priceless. You can't put a price on it.
Yeah, we should also mention too, one of the things you pointed out many times is the feeding the kids in school, but also you get to that Friday to Monday thing and kids may go hungry and not eat for a couple of days.
Part of my program is that the kids get frozen meals to take home. They're well balanced, they're nutritious. They're made with Loving Spoonful's industrial kitchen. And so they pop them in the freezer, take them out Saturday and Sunday, make themselves a meal in the microwave, and they're not hungry all weekend.
Well, if you missed this event here in July right next to Creek House where Dave bases himself, you always have lots of events like this.
We got one coming up in August.
Actually, we should mention too,
And another one at Christmas.
check this email out below us here, folks. That's where you can reach Dave if you want more information on how you can help, how you can volunteer, what you can do to feed kids. We should also mention, you mentioned Loving Spoonful. You do a lot with the Vancouver Sun.
Absolutely.
And Granville Island cares
Absolutely.
for kids.
Right.
Thank you.
you.
Ed Pal. Cheers.
Much appreciated.
Ed Pal.
Closed captioning and other promotional considerations provided by Hamilton High Street Senior Residence, Richmond's newest senior living community.
Well, folks, what you are looking at are some great vistas, sunsets here in Victoria. Lita, we've had a couple of great days at the Coast Victoria Hotel and Marina by Appa.
Yes, and so many of these great views are from so many of the rooms here, the oceanfront rooms. It's hard to go home.
It's a great part of Victoria. Come check this great property out. Thanks to all the wonderful people that helped us and assisted us with our 2 days here. And thank you for watching. I'm Jim Gordon.
And I'm Lita Leapins.
We will see you on the next edition of Our City Tonight.
Don't forget to check out 10 years worth of episodes and individual interviews, all on the Our City Tonight YouTube channel. The Richmond Sentinel, providing news, entertainment, and human interest stories in print and online.